Best Macca's burgers ever.
Welcome back. We forgot to mention at the top of the show, the MPL is happening tonight.
Yeah, happens every night.
It does. Well,
Yeah.
every Friday and Saturday night. But I believe, depending on how we go time-wise in terms of when we finish here, because a certain someone needs to flee a certain state, we might be doing one TFT and an ARAM, or we could do two TFTs.
I like two TFTs.
I'm about two
I like that
TFTs.
too as well. Yeah, I mean, I don't like that because I got absolutely hammered. But, I like it because...
You're going to be a really good spectator. You go out first, you'll be able to check out all
able
the
to
other
round,
rounds.
check everything.
You get
Yeah,
to watch
yeah.
all the fights.
I get to, okay. Yeah, I could
just
level up another skill.
You're just really into the viewer experience.
I really, really am. Now, speaking of viewing experiences, Bryce,
All right.
you... Ever since
Maybe
I've-
I need this. If you said homework, I might need this one.
Ever since I met you, I've been stunned at the level of knowledge you have about like memes, internet culture, like very modern references. You're all over,
Thank
but you have zero knowledge of anything that came beforehand.
Yeah.
Particularly when it comes to like film and television.
you. Yeah.
Because basically everyone in the building will say something. And
Yeah,
everyone will
like
laugh,
for
and-
example, I'll stub my toe, I'll say dough, and Bryce will be like, what's that from?
Yeah, Homer Simpson. Oh, God knows. I don't know.
So I kind of remember how this came up, but we decided that we should make you watch a movie, and then we're going to quiz you next week.
Because I have another theory. I
yeah.
have a theory that he's just not interested. So it's not that he wasn't.
I think that's probably...
So like, even if we like, the thing is, if we give him homework, we need to check that he's actually engaged with the homework.
That's the
like,
thing.
you need to take. You don't watch these pieces just to watch them. You watch them to learn, to take something away, and that's what I want this to come down to.
This is definitely going to be some second monitor viewing experiences for me. This is...
You say that.
Just warning. Just word of warning.
You say that, but I think in the same way that Jake was saying that if he needs to leave early tonight, he'll just tank the game. I don't think you have it in you to not commit to a challenge. Like you're insanely competitive
Yeah.
at your core, and this is going to be in some ways a competition. So we have
Against
each
myself.
picked a film that we think you should watch.
Okay.
Well, should have already watched.
Or should have
Yeah,
already.
and
there's a
now that
chance
you
I don't
failed
know
at that,
because
yeah.
I could have
You-
seen them.
Yeah.
You could, and there's a possibility that you have. There's a couple which I'm fairly certain you haven't, but we'll find out. And then next week we'll find out how well you've ingested this piece of pop culture and what you've taken
I'm
away
expected
from
to
it.
watch one.
Yeah.
Just one.
Okay.
And so
if you
we're
give me 5 movies, I'm like, I don't know.
No. And so we're gonna put it out to a vote to the audience all night, and then they get to pick which one you watch.
Oh, okay.
So, Jake, do you want to start us off?
So I think that you're going to say that you've watched this movie.
Okay.
But I think you've seen this movie. You haven't watched this movie. And there is a big difference. So I'm giving you Pulp Fiction.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen it. I hardcore agree. I've seen that movie. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, so I want you to sit down and I want you to pay attention and watch Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
I think has some of the greatest references like of all time. And my friendship group and family, big fans of Pulp Fiction, will just quote a part of the movie. And like it just brings joy to me. And I want you to be a part of that joy, Bryce. So you have to watch
Okay.
Pulp Fiction.
I kind of expected some like old I don't know how to describe Pulp Fiction, but like
Yep.
Jake is really into like mafia movies. All he does is talk
Yep.
about like The Godfather and
Yeah.
it's old Italian like sort of stuff.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's
all- that's all you
it's
are,
in your
just a-
blood.
yeah.
It is. That's a good shout because that film. For me, I think it's that I get upset that you don't get the reference to the reference.
Yeah.
That like that film has inspired so much of what today you could be going, haha, I love that, and you don't realize, oh, that's where
Yeah.
that actually came from.
Yeah, okay.
This is an exciting time
I just
to
know
be
he really
alive.
angrily walks in the room and I forget what he says.
He quotes the Bible before he
yeah.
people.
And of course, you'll be expected to memorize the whole
Ezekiel
quote.
29:13. The path of the righteous man is beset on our sides by the tyranny of evil men. I know it all, so
And also,
Yeah.
it's not even a proper Bible verse.
it's not. It's made up.
All right, Rusty, you're up.
I forget what I said. No, wait, I got it. I was originally going to say Groundhog Day, but we can't. He wouldn't be able to watch that successfully. I think was what we concluded.
We could. Well, it's not available to stream in
mine's
Australia.
on
but,
Stan.
Yeah, but we could buy it.
Oh.
Like that's not an issue. You
Nah,
can pick.
it's easy. So I just put my favorite movie there instead. So I think you haven't seen Ocean's 11.
I think I've also seen that, but like 17 years ago. It's obviously not that old, but like, and I don't remember
probably
a
is
thing.
close.
Oh, I think it was
I do not
2001.
remember a thing. I'm definitely like, I'm not a movie snob, obviously, and I don't care about watching things out. I watched Endgame and I haven't seen the one before it.
Well,
so, like,
Ocean's 11 is the first Ocean.
No, I know. I'm saying I think I've seen like
It's
Ocean's
not the
12.
11th.
No, I've seen Ocean's 12, but I haven't seen 11.
Oh, really?
Or
That must have
something
been
like-
so confusing for
So
you.
yeah.
Yeah, what?
Did you not spend the entire time going, how did all these celebrities meet each other?
No, like don't question it.
All right, that makes sense. Rusty, why should he watch Ocean's 11?
I just think it's the type of movie that everyone should know and enjoy. I originally watched it because my mum was like, look at all the handsome male actors. And then I left the movie thinking it's genuinely really good. And it just kind of stuck with me.
Good. Pulse.
I actually don't know how much anime you watch, Mr. Price.
Absolutely, literally zero.
Well, that's just sad. But yeah, I said Ghost in the Shell, the original one,
Okay.
the animated version, not the new
Yeah,
one,
not the
Scarlett
remake
Johansson.
with
yeah.
Scarlett
Have you seen?
Johansson?
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know who
yeah,
it
it was the new one. Yeah, have you seen either of those?
No. I've seen like there's that one iconic. I think I watched like a YouTube video of a movie snob like breaking it down, and there's that scene through like the window. Is that a thing? Yeah. It's like apparently super iconic. Not to me, obviously, but yeah.
But their YouTube video is
Yeah,
very
but that
iconic
YouTube
to you.
video is iconic. Yeah, okay.
See, this is what I'm talking about. None of us have seen the YouTube video.
Yeah.
We've all just seen the film. All right, that's a good pick. And then mine. So I'm like, mine is definitely going to lose in chat or win because I'm like it plays so hard against type. Have you ever seen She's All That?
No.
All right, so I reckon you should watch She's All That. So it is just a really like pretty average bad rom-com.
Okay.
But it's like it wrapped up so much of what made that time period of rom-com so like dumb. It's basically like guy's challenged to turn nerdy girl into prom princess or prom queen, and all that happens is she takes off her glasses and takes her hair out of her ponytail.
Okay.
But there's just so much in that I feel like is reflected. And I would love the fact that we would spend most of next Friday just talking about She's All That in various quiz related ways.
Yeah, okay.
Which I think would be really entertaining. So that's my film. So
She's All That, Ghost in the Shell, Ocean's 11, and Pulp Fiction.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Well, I don't
good
get to
movie,
choose, so
good
it's
movie,
like-
good movie, trash.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I'm excited to see how this turns out.
Interesting.
Have you seen Gangs of New York?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Because I kind of wanted
that's
to
gonna be
wait you
next
watch
week?
Gangs
Yeah.
of New York because, like, Pulp Fiction is like it's broken up into parts, so you can definitely pause. You could go do something else. Like, there's like certain chapters in Pulp
And
Fiction.
it also feels like it kicks along because of those parts.
Yeah,
It's like
absolutely.
you wrap it up and then you move on to the
Whereas
next one really quick.
Gangs of New York goes forever and goes nowhere. So I kind of really wanted to make you watch Gangs of New York because I think it would be a movie that would actually just like really piss you off.
Technically, they're still making Gangs of New York. That's how long that film is. It is just not a good movie. So we're going to put a poll in Twitch chat. It's going to be there for the evening. So vote for the film that you want Bryce to have to watch. Study intensely, and then we'll figure out some games to quiz you about it next week. Who knows how this will go? This will either be great or just awful, but you got to fill time somehow. Also, if you have any ideas on how to quiz him, let us know. That'd be helpful.
Because we don't know.
We have
I
no
definitely
idea.
didn't sign up for OPL for homework. This is some horse shit.
It is. But check your contract. All right, game number 2. It is Legacy versus Gravitas.
Okay.
This one I'm excited about.
Yeah, I think this is actually fairly evenly matched. Recently, both these teams struggling, I think, in different ways. Both of them definitely got bopped yesterday in very one-sided affairs. And I think got it. Surprise upset for game number 1, but this, to me, looking at the day, would have been one of the closest.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the area that I want to watch is top lane because both of these teams kind of have strange identities where I think they have carry top laners and then they play heavily away from those two top laners.
Whilst picking carry top
Whilst
laning.
picking carry. So it is a very strange way to draft.
Yeah.
And I want to see when you put these two oil comps together, like which one blows up first.
And I want to see what jersey Gravitas are going to wear today. So let's get into it with the Macca's Champ Select.
Thank you, Couch. And yeah, so I mean, sometimes you just don't get to choose, right? I don't know. That was a weird.
What are we
way
talking
to
about?
catch. What are we talking about?
What are we choosing?
For what?
Oh, I'm so lost.
You just made me confused. I don't.
I was distracted by the conversation being about oil comps, which I thought was actually quite an apt description, both being 1 and 4, both playing very weird in their style. I am yet to see Paprise have a laning phase, as an example.
Yeah, Papyrus has had a rough, last 2-3 games?
Yeah, it hasn't been the...
the 5 CS game. then it was followed up by the lose 3 towers
Yeah.
in 10 minutes game.
Which in split 1, he was the guy picking Riven, being the carry, trying to split push to victory, but this time around he is the one being split on and has not been having a very good experience. Gravitas have got Pabu, who has been playing Pyke, and other various champions like Pyke and sometimes Jax. So he's been playing a lot of carries, but has been given very little attention.
Yeah.
And it's a similar thing with Pabu, with Papri, sorry. If you're not giving someone that picks Pyke attention, you are innately losing the game because that guy just suffers. And you want to be able to play towards your strength.
Yeah, and I look at Legacy and I asked this question yesterday, like, what's the long-term plan, right? Do you send more attention to top lane for Papri, or you just say, all right, screw it, you know, we're just going to, like, this is your life now, right? Like, you're just going to have these games and we'll just try to do what we can on the rest of the map. At the very least, Legacy going to be banning away Irelia, Olaf, and Nico. Every time I look at Nico, I'm just like Yuumi. I don't know why. But Yuumi has also been banned away, so I don't have that problem.
the double vowel in the name, and they came out at the same time. Yeah. So they're unfamiliar, and they both have double vowel in the middle.
That's probably why.
The word naming system is actually almost identical. Consonant, double vowel, consonant, vowel.
Nico, Yuumi, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have to deal with that problem with either of them this game.
I just got weirdly analytical on the naming scheme.
It makes me feel a lot better about it. You know, not my brain's just screwed. It's just like there is a legitimate reason as to why. So Juani and Karma final bans there from Gravitas. First play Aatrox again. Second game in a row. And not a Lux coming through.
No surprises to see the Aatrox locked in first. Now this does give some agency to Paprise as Decoy just tries to whip the screen. I think he missed, thank God.
Yep.
And we get to see the response here from Gravitas. Now, just quickly back to the point of the Aatrox as well. He has more freedom, more agency to be a weak side player and not be completely stomped on the pick, but he could also be played towards and be very powerful. While it's still a flex for Chaz, I would expect to see it given to Paprise, however.
Yeah, could also be mid lane. Lovers Duo picked up by Legacy, but yeah, I mean, that's the other solution, right? Is where you don't pick like the feast or famine top laner, like assassins, bruisers. You go for something that can actually do okay even behind. And Sivir will be the pickup for Gravitas for the AD carry. Early jungle pickup actually as well from Gravitas in the Rek'Sai.
Yeah, compared to the flex pick that is there from Legacy, Gravitas seem to deem that there are no flexes available, at least for them. And so they do not prioritize any type of champion that could be picked in the first 3. So they just go for a safer jungle pick. They could ban away junglers if they would like, but right now the Jack's the first to go. Does lead me to believe that Chaz could potentially still be on that Aatrox, or they just don't want to give Jax as an option when Pavu's playing.
Yeah, remove that off the board. Yeah, back over to Legacy. They could definitely start just hitting solo lanes if they wanted to.
You know what's crazy is if you look at Legacy's just first 3 champions in a vacuum, you don't look at their opponents, you just think that's ridiculous. Like, the game is over in terms of strength from the first 3 alone. But, you know, Xayah Rakan is weathered pretty well by the Lux in particular. Lux into Rakan is a really good pick for Gravitas. Sivir isn't actually the best pick into Rakan because he can still either charm you or knock you up if you use the spell shield, so you don't actually win with the spell shield usage, but Lux does all of the work in that lane. There's another top laner.
It's kind of like the Alistair thing, you know, you're still going to get hit by the Pulverize.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, LeBlanc ban out there against Gravitas, and Renekton towards Legacy. So again, mid lane / top lane.
Not what they go towards here, Gravitas. With Renekton and Jax gone, strong laning style champions. One split pushes much harder in one's early game, so in terms of where they're strong in the game, very different.
Fiora
taken off. Cannon still exists if you want a safe ranged champion that is a bruiser. Camille is the other option, of course.
Yeah, Camille straight up pick there. Should go into that top lane.
That is actually a flex for them, so that is why I like this pick more. As Camille has been seen mid and top lane, and my assumptions is that they're going to try and follow the Aatrox with the Camille, depending on what the last 2 picks here from Legacy are.
I think the only role Camille has not seen play in is AD carry now. Camille has,
we have seen Camille's support.
Camille has done everything. Legacy, it's going to be another Gragas. Yeah, saw a bit of Gragas yesterday, and the Gragas today.
No Yasuo yet, but I would like a Yasuo to be followed here with it.
Would not be bad at all in this comp.
Genuinely round out their composition, though there would be a decent amount of physical damage. Gragas is full AP at the moment, so not too bad.
We're kind of reliant on the Gragas actually having some items and actually be able to do something. Yeah, Akali is the final pickup.
Yeah, so making sure their damage mix is still very high in their solo laners and, you know, not being so jungle reliant in their damage output. I don't mind that. So the Akali is the choice, though I think the composition would just be innately better if they had gone for the Yasuo Gragas combo.
So
As there isn't a tank on the opposing side. Is the key point that needs to be remembered here is they're not going to stack armor against you, and you still have magic damage.
Okay, Emperor of the Sands will round out the comp from Gravitas. Goes into the mid lane. Be facing down the Akali most likely. And it will be Camille into Aatrox. I mean, obviously, like, I'm looking at this one for Pat Bryans. Like, what is your laning phase going to be, you know?
Yeah, we will highlight top laners a lot as we get into this game for certain, as that is a point of contention. Undoubtedly, we'll get a chance to speak to the coaches as well and see how they feel about that top lane. But for the rest of the draft, just quickly as well, we've hit bottom lane 2v2. Lux controls it pretty well, but there is high kill threat in general. What you're currently seeing in the summoner spells from Legacy, I would say, is incredibly Chad. There's no cleanse on the Rakan. So high risk, high reward is the style of play we may see from them. In mid lane, the last pick of the Azir puts the game on a clock pretty hard and is a strong champion that can outrange. We've seen it from Triple many times.
Yep.
Very good Azir player. And we'll see if Harry can step up to the plate as well and do the same job as he scales. And even through laning phase against Akali, honestly, Azir actually has a pretty good time.
Yeah, I mean, this is a comp right here from Gravitas, which, you know, you get to late game. It's just a lot of damage, you know, AD and AP coming out of that Sivir and the Azir. So, yeah, exciting to see where this one goes for sure. Yeah, let's also see how this Azir does, because play that keep away for long enough, start to itemize. We take a look at these comps. And with us, we have Juves. How you going? Hey!
China, actually.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, I was not there.
Nah, you're here now.
Yeah, the last time I spoke to you was in China. We're going down for a walk down the main road, having a good chat.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah. We were in Jing'an.
Was that the day you realized you can have your shirt off and no one minds?
Yes,
That was
the
that
day.
day.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care.
Did we go for hot pot?
Yeah, we did hot pot. Yeah, very hot.
That was a good day. So, yeah, how spicy do you think these comps are, Mr. Juves?
I think like the game's never look at lane and take your and make your assumptions from that. But I feel like we have a good matchup top. Jungle matchup's good. Mid matchup pre-6 is like really good for us, so we can get a lot of prio off that. And like Sivir and Lux, well, it's pretty much been like a staple lane around the world. So we have a good when you bring it together, it's still good. We have some good team fight. So does Legacy. I just think our champs suit us really well, and it comes down to execution. I think like yesterday, our execution was very, very, very bad, and we're really disappointed with our performance. So it's a good shot at redemption.
Pablo just had the longest yawn I think I've ever seen in history. Is he getting a lot of sleep recently?
Yeah, I just think when you've solo killed Faker and double lift and Rookie, then this might be just a little bit like less on the the exciting end.
Fair.
Did you see Pabu's email that he sent in to
Yeah,
Nick
I did. Like, why do I get solo killed by Pat Rise, but kill Faker in a while or something like that? Yeah, he's got good bans, Pabu. He actually has got real good bans.
And so for the viewers at home, Juves, it's a good opportunity to talk about the Sivir Lux lane that you mentioned. It has been seen around the world. What makes it so good into something like the Xayah Rakan that's often banned?
So Xayah Rakan, like to engage or to go forward in lane, it's straight line, right? Like, so Lux can really easily land binding, proc aftershock, so if they go on her, she's like pretty safe still. And then like they just pretty much play for prio. Like at 6, Xayah Rakan always gonna have kill threat, like if you misplay the lane. But for the most part, like on the early levels, the Sivir and the Lux will get prio like level 2 to like I can't remember the numbers, but yeah, they get prio early on, which makes it good for your jungler, and then the aftershock on the Lux and the harass just makes it a real safe lane.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of just like percentage chance of winning this game, you just obviously feel pretty confident right here.
Yeah, I think as a team, you know, we do have some rough weeks sometimes, but we respond very well to adversity. And like when we've had a bad week or a bad day, we come out the next day and we really change it up and like the boys show some really good character to kind of, you know, turn it around. And sometimes teams are like, oh, wait, this is their level? Or like, oh, they can play like this? And then we back it up. Sometimes we back it up with like a bad performance. So I'm very confident that we'll play well this game and we'll respond very well. It's just how can we find that consistency on stage?
And quick opportunity for you, Juves. What's the name of the jerseys that you're wearing today?
This one's Arrow. We call this one the Arrow jersey. You really put me on the spot there, because if I got it wrong, then I'd have a message from Sean being like, hey, how come you don't know the jerseys?
I knew yesterday was Thunder. I wasn't sure what
Yeah,
today's
we've
was.
got names for all the jerseys, which is like real cool, and we tried to get a similar approach for all the names. So if you look at the names, you can probably see a common theme. But yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm glad we can always end your interviews on the plug. Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
That was the plan.
Thanks, guys.
No worries. All right, top lane. Pabu just a bit smashed here by Pep Price, but jump back into him.
Yeah, he's able to trade on the backside. Normally you'd see the hookshot and disappearing act from Pabu, but he knows that he can trade. Paprise had nothing left available for him.
Yeah.
And so this top lane matchup, you know, it was mentioned by Juice, fairly favorable for the Camille is how he feels, and it was picked for the purpose of following. Wherever the Aatrox went, the Camille was going to follow. Just lots of kill threat pretty constantly. At level 6, you know, you've got a lot of outplay with your ultimate to dodge one of the Qs that you choose from Aatrox, but ooh, Guts is hunting. Santa Claus is on the chase. Where are you off to?
Yeah, where is Pabu actually going for the river recall?
Yeah, he doesn't have a ward to place because you can see it just at the top of your screen. Recalling like this, if your legacy actually gives an indicator that it's fine. Actually gives an indicator that they might be like, has he warded the pixel bush? Like, has he warded for the scuttle? Where's the enemy jungler? And if we don't have that information, we might be afraid. But Pabu's teleport, I think, just was like, hey guys, there's a bloody ward here.
Has now expired though. Yeah, Guts walking into the mid lane and just helping push its wave in, to be honest.
Yeah, giving him the reset.
Yeah.
This is, you know, like we highlighted during draft, Azir actually has a very good time in this 1v1. While he's a scaling champion, you know, Azir wants to try and last as long as he can as the lane going well. You know, if you're able to pick a 1v1 where you control it, that's always going to be one step better for you into getting that free scaling.
Yeah, and then back into this bottom lane. We're talking about that Civet and then Lux talking about those straight lines. And yeah, should be doing pretty well into this Lovers duo at the very least. Equal and farm.
And just highlighted it for you guys at home as well. They'll have priority in lane, particularly from level 2. You would expect there's kill threat from Xayah Rakan at every single level though. And especially when you've gone for the Ignite like we mentioned. Not the Cleanse. Cleanse is about surviving the lane, hitting level 6 and looking for kills. But Praedyth and Crazy want to be able to threaten earlier. However, if a decoy plays the lane correctly, sticks his range advantage and the straight line skill shots that are there from Crazy are matched, there's no way you can ever use your W forwards as Rakan without being instantly punished. That's the thing with Aftershock Lux as well.
Ooh, top lane, Trailers. Pat Price gets the knock up. Flash burns. Still a long way towards that tower. Yeah, Furious Bite doing a bunch of damage right there, but Pat Price have to go back to base. Doesn't have the teleport, though he is ahead in farm, so he'll lose a wave and a half right here.
But that was really interesting, Pulse, because they chose not to flash on him. There was a hookshot flash that could have stunned him.
Yeah.
There was a flash on Burrow that could have locked him down for the hookshot to hit. But the conscious choice, seemingly to use neither of them, means they won't get the kill, but they'll get the flash. They'll know he has no teleport, and it's still a winning lane move. But it could have been more if they were feeling, you know, greedy, or they decided they really wanted the kill, but not to be seen. Patience from Gravitas.
True, I believe they didn't have vision on Gragas at the same time. You know, there's a chance he could have been topside, but yeah, could have been maybe a little more bloodthirsty, perhaps. But it's also a lane that's like winning already. So it doesn't choose to do it in the end. Yeah, nice little dodge out there by Crazy.
I want to crash this wave in now. You've cancelled the recall, so they want to try and get the minions to push in and not be frozen. But those range minions will probably hold. And now it's not ideal for Legacy in this 2v2 in bottom lane. They have to make the decision to stay or go. And they will stay one more wave, most likely. Though they don't have wards, so not feeling too comfortable in this push.
We're going to have an Infernal coming up first in this game. I feel like I have not seen a single Cloud Dragon.
Well, there was a Cloud Dragon last game.
I
think.
I thought it was like, was it?
I feel like there was one.
One Cloud. So I feel at the very least, it's like all the games so far I've cast in the OPL have all been like Infernal first or Mountain Dragon into multiple Infernal Dragons.
Yeah. We're not NA here. We don't have Cloud Dragons as our primary. We love a good
thing,
Biffo.
I think, to you know, take with me. You know, like I arrived, the Infernal Dragons happened because the only thing that I was told I brought was the bin chickens.
You did bring the bin chickens back. We hadn't seen them in
Yeah.
months.
Yeah. I mean, they have a pretty horrifying scream.
Yeah, they're like a velociraptor chicken kind of put in one, so I'm not surprised to... I've never heard them scream, actually. I'm not surprised to hear it would be horrifying. I didn't even know they made noises.
What, the
I shouldn't know it. Yeah, I shouldn't know a mute, like monks. Don't know why it's like monks.
Yeah, that's definitely what... I wasn't expecting the analogy for monks, but you know.
They have a lot in common.
Was there an active effort made to remove the bin chicken from Australia?
I don't think
Or
so.
Did they just have periods where they, I don't know the.
It's one of those things where they're like a national icon that no one wants, but will just
Right.
always exist.
I don't think anyone who doesn't go to Australia knows about bin chickens, though, right? Because everyone thinks about kangaroos, koalas, national animals. But
Well,
unless you
yeah,
actually come here and you hear like a baby crying, and like actually that's just a bird, right?
You won't see an ibis on the coat of arms. That way, they're not treasured, but they exist. They're everywhere.
I do reckon we're scheduled for a war against the ibis at some point now, because you've already had one against the
We don't
emu,
speak about
right?
that. Actually, false. You don't meant to bring that up.
My bad.
Your visa's in jeopardy.
It was already in jeopardy. That prize having a better game this time, Like, this is a bit of a palate cleanser, one might say.
Yeah, I think the important part here is it's stable. And, this is something that both top laners were pretty content with. Looking for the mid-game team fights is definitely something they'll both be about. And item spikes is an important part for this. If the Tiamat is done for Pabu, a little bit more lane control against the Aatrox. For Aatrox, having that first big item for the cooldown reduction is important for his extra dashes on the E. And of course, rotations on the Q for trading. So they'll just sit back. They'll be pretty calm through the early game. And, with the early pressure that was there from Praelus not being hard out for a kill, you can see that it's kind of just become a more measured lane afterwards with farming and ensuing.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the Aatrox can't get a kill onto the Camille, right? So it's just about scrapping for CS. So yeah, looking towards the rest of the map. Looking towards the second blue buff. Oh, Crazy coming in for a contestant. So is Guts. Look at the speed of life. Look at the moves on this guy.
Oh, he's out.
Walks in, Smite comes down. And he's good to go.
Hits the gas, just sprints out of there. I've never seen Santa move. He just walks in with Predator and spikes it
Gragas,
away.
yeah.
Respect to Guts. Of course, it was Crazy able to spot it as well. And it's good to have the timers of your opponent's buffs and big major camps, importantly. And that's a blue buff. Like last game when we were saying you want to take the blue from the Anivia, it's really nice to still take it away from the Azir. It means that he can't freely put up 3 soldiers, get the attack speed bonus, and just constantly push you in.
Yeah.
He has to respect that he has some limitations in that mana pool, though it's not significant. It exists now.
Yeah, it is a big deal. But yeah, Azir in terms of war attrition already has the last chapter. He will be okay. But that being said, if he just straight up dies to a potential gank here from Guts.
Yeah, rule of thumb against Azir is if you can get a gank pre-level 4 or like force his E out, the mana cost is actually really high. So any types of ganks you can get on an Azir without a blue buff will always hurt his laning experience. Even if it's by 5%, that matters against an assassin that can like pick their battles, and a Gragas as well who can threaten with the cast.
Oh, knock him into the mid lane. Emperor's Divide coming through. Oh, doesn't make it over the wall. Oh, no.
Oh, it takes one to no one, unfortunately.
Yeah, double faceplant.
Praetor also ulting in the bottom side, so chaos and action all in one in the current moment.
Yeah, let's just not talk about that
You
one.
hate to see it.
Yeah, Harry about 3 waves ahead, actually, of chance to be expected, but currently still farming on up, working her way towards that Gunblade. Got a recall coming in from Decoy.
Yeah, I mean, the end result is you won't hear complaints from Harry. He flashes closer to the wall, and that's all he needs is an Azir. Because he has a dash to follow. Akali with the flash really wanted to get over the wall because her ult is relevant for damage, not to escape, and that's why we find ourselves here, as it looks like Guts wants to ensure this wave is pushed in again. Don't disrespect the Gragas, or he'll come for you. Is the name of that game.
Fast waddle. Chance. Spot out a Decoy, yeah, just fresh from base, actually. Was that the like binding? And I don't know, he's just chilling. He's just dual laning right now with Harry. It's a little bit low on health and a little bit low on mana.
It's
So
the
probably
same
just,
thing as Guts, right? They're just trying to reset his wave, and Crazy's going to be here to try and continue this game. Looks a bit like an ARAM, but it's with a purpose.
I feel like Harry's probably due for a recall relatively shortly as well.
And Chaz, you'd have to expect he's getting closer to his Gunblade purchase. They'd have a decent amount of money.
Yeah, Revolver at the very least. Yeah, recall now coming through from Azir. Bottom lane. Kratos basically just been on an island, to be honest, for a good while. Essence Reaver picked up by both of the AD carries. Looks like Herald action.
Yeah, Legacy are going to hit this one off. Of course, Gravitas aware with a control ward in the pit that is now being cleared. It means that if they want to collapse, they can. You can see Lux moving. They definitely are looking for the possibility of a steal, if not a fight.
Down to 3k, 4 members here from Legacy, jumps in, there's Pabu, pops the ultimate, everybody trapped in the pit right now, 50 HP, first blood goes to Hayri, in comes the laser, Chaz finds another one on the backside, and Pabu, low on health, but what an Empress Divide, misses the flash into the Q there as well on the Aatrox, resurrecting, but soon to go back down right here, another kill in for Hayri.
Yeah, Gravitas actually the ones who pick up the Rift Herald as well. It was a flash smite from Praelis, I believe. The trade on the opposite side from Praedyth will be the bottom lane turret, but the cost is so damn high after the trade with the kills that happened in that pit. Big stuff coming out of Hayri, who has gone for the Luden's Echo build on this Azir. Coming up clutch in the fight as well.
Massive win for Gravitas. Pabu chasing down Praedyth in the bottom side, doesn't have the ultimate, already used it, has flash, but he won't make it back to the tower, I think. Good route, but yeah, hook shot will finish him off. Nice play there by Pabu.
Great patience coming out of the top laner of Gravitas, hooking to the wall, waiting for the flash as well. Could have been Praedyth's life if he used it too early. Top turret fall, 610 gold pretty much from full there. Very well done from Raid with no hesitation. Summons that Herald after this fight. Now keep your eyes on Praelis at the start of this one, as he is the one, I believe, who takes it with the flash after he's casked away. No, it was Azir. There you go. You know what? Hayri did everything. Man's a monster. Crazy, of course, sacrifices himself trying to charm them. And the Emperor's Divide stops Pabu from falling, and it actually looks like Paprise, just in case, wants to get that buff. If it was theirs, he wasn't sure who got it. So, goes down, falling on the sword.
Which is fair. It was very chaotic around the time of the Herald actually dying, to be honest. We didn't even get called out.
We couldn't see the notifications.
Yeah.
There's no call out for it at the moment.
Ooh, bottom side, Chaz, taking a lot of damage, jumps away to safety. And yeah, first dragon of the game going down. It was an Infernal, and there's going to be another Infernal to follow up. Or second Infernal, sorry. Third Infernal.
Yes, there's a lot of Infernals. There's a lot of fire. The name of the game for me seems to be last pick. What can you counter in a solo lane with the last pick right now? We've seen an Anivia, now the Azir pick as well being a very big deal.
Yep.
Though Anivia is a little bit more abstract than something like the Emperor of Shurima, we've still seen a few of these to great success, and it's only really ever picked late in a draft. So once again, this is it now, 2-0-2. Briefly mentioned it's a Luden's Echo build, could be the Nash's Tooth, but wants the damage, not the attack speed right now. Even gone for the Merc Treads, so playing much more of a standard control mage style, using damage from the Q and the 3 autos when they're finally up. Not the consistent DPS of an attack speed as here yet.
And Paprise, he finally gets to be on an island in the top side, completely by his lonesome. But unfortunately, the rest of the team isn't doing too hot this time around. So he will get his tower at the very end. He even has to demolish, actually. Yeah, knocks it down, but Gravitas just all over the rest of the board. As he said, 2 kills on the Azir. 2 kills on the Lux as well. They would have liked it on the AD carry, but with only 1 assist, Raid has not really been in a lot of these fights.
And even with a CS lead for Paprise, Pub has been much more active on the board. Now 1-0-4 in kills. A lot of that, of course, was the Herald fight, but went straight down the bottom lane, picks up Praedyth as well as getting his flash. So just generally more active are the members of Gravitas. You'd even contrast that with junglers. How have they influenced the state of the game? Praelis ganked top lane, was there at the Herald, and has been active in attempts of kills. Guts has gone for some steals and has actually spent a significant amount of time just helping mid to reset. And, you know, that has been time where he could have been invisible on the map, maybe setting up vision or ganking or making plays, but none of it seen.
You just saw on the graphic right there, you can vote for the movie that eGym should see. I know it was only up for a split second, it's also a straw poll, so I don't know if you managed to get the URL in time. What was your choice?
I said Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11.
But I was, you know what, I was really thinking about it while I said it. Is there a better option that we should make him watch?
Yeah, I mean, like, the way it was posed to me was just, like, something that's important to watch, right? Versus just, like, what's a good
Yeah,
film.
I was going to say the original Longest Yard. I thought it was just a really good movie. Even the remake was funny. And I'm pretty sure Bryce wouldn't have seen any of them, but maybe the remake.
That's true. You also said, what, Groundhog Day as well?
Yeah, Groundhog Day. What is just like, what is a big movie in history that you know he hasn't watched because it's Bryce?
Because I feel like, what was it, Pulp Fiction is a good one. Very much like a cult following.
Surely he's
that.
seen Fight Club.
Yeah, Fight Club.
Surely he's seen.
Because I feel like Ghost in the Shell, just from like an anime perspective, is just so important in terms of. Oh, he watched the YouTube video. What you know, he doesn't even need to watch the film. Yeah, but in terms of animation and what it did for the genre, very important. But Chaz knocking down the bottom turret here. Will be 2-2 in towers. Just kind of slipping this one underneath Gravitas, to be honest. We've got the top tower going down to Paprise, bottom tower goes down to the Akali, but Gravitas really just focus on this middle lane tower as their main objective and just been dancing around it for a good long while. It's almost down, to be fair.
Yeah, during the time where the bottom lane turret fell, there's been vision established by Gravitas around the middle lane. You can see their control wards moving forwards. And with that advanced line of vision, they have been able to break that turret pretty successfully, and Pabu, of course, has knowledge that he is not in a safe space and backs away. So, very good stuff here in the setup from Gravitas. Always one of those teams that would value teamwork, being able to work as a unit of 5, and you get to see that when they get leads. And that to me really has been the difference maker for a team like Gravitas. When they get ahead or they get momentum more than anything else, they actually do still look like the Gravitas are split one in many ways.
Just in a bit of a farming frenzy right now here, Rusty. Everyone's just gone off to their respective lanes, just soaking up farm, getting towards those item spikes. Got a gunblade finally completed in the mid lane by Chaz. Bottom lane, 2 items complete by the AD carry. And with a recall shortly on the cards for Azir. And for a second item as well for him.
Is that Pajama Lux?
The, yeah, I believe so.
Decreased skin, I swear that skin is not very visible for its animation. We'll have to watch in the next fight, though. I'm pretty sure that the Q just not okay.
Yeah, I was thinking that yesterday because I thought I saw the same thing.
It looks good for us.
Because, sure, because it used to be, what, Steel Legion Lux, which was just a nightmare. Eye Blitz, Crane. There was a bunch of just ban skins. I'm sure the list is super long now, several years on, of skins that you can and can't use.
Dragon now up. Third Infernal of the game. Crazy going to start the fight off with 0 HP. So
yeah, 2 items here, by the way.
Oh, they're actually ulting bottom as well. Chaz is cooked.
And they know what side of the Shroud he's on right now, and that is so much damage coming out from Pabu. Praelis will come out with the cheeky kill secure.
And it just continues like this. If they're going to go for this legacy, it's a steal from Guts. Best case scenario is the Gragas comes in.
Looks for the steal, stands still, tries to wait for it, but now he's rooted and put down. 2 kills for Gravitas, looking for more right here. Jumps over the wall. Paprise caught in place. Pabu chasing him down. Voidseeker's there.
Oh, the Ludens.
Finds him with a Luden's Echo proc. Double kill for the Azir.
Let's just go straight to the Baron buff here as well. Hayri can keep him as busy as he pleases. Turret even summoned in mid lane to slow them down. And just like that, 2 kills. Dragon goes over. It's a 3rd Infernal as well. And just easy as you like over to the Baron buff. No dramas at all. Double teleports used. Legacy seem to acknowledge if they can't get in here, the game's over. So they're going to try, but it's too late.
Too little, too late. Chaz is low, probably about to go down as well. 1 versus 1 AD carry versus jungler right now.
Right?
Might actually, yeah, I mean, he may just die right here. It was a versus an AD carry, but Ray chasing him down, auto attacks coming through, and Hayri unstoppable. 5-0-2 right now. This is a big bird.
There were 2 items completed. I don't think anyone will be able to stop this Azir when it comes to the Baron buff siege. Desperation is an understatement for how Legacy felt with the teleports trying to stop that Baron from going down. With all the Infernals there from Gravitas, it goes all too quickly, however. And it's not just a 5-0 to Azir. Like the last game, it's a Lux now that's strong and controls zones really well. When you put the Sivir that can throw the boomerangs, you've got the Lux with the Q and Azir with the soldiers. They control areas so brilliantly. And they should be able to press up and start looking for some sieges.
I mean, Legacy are so outgunned right now, you know, in terms of damage. 3 damage threats on that side for Gravitas and triple Infernal, which is a lot of damage. Mid lane tower, Hayri just going to knock it down pretty much by himself right now.
It's really starting to feel like Akali's a trap pick today. And I don't think in general is fair. Akali is still a very strong champion worth picking, but today it feels like a giant trap pick where everyone's getting countered. Blue side Akali, red side mid lane counters. Twice in a row now.
Very true. Now looking towards this mid lane.
Guts no flash though. To engage as Gragas without flash means the cast has to hit. Not easy to do. Rakan could possibly go. Flash is available with the ultimate. And I think that he has to be the person that goes. But that cannon, once again, about to break the base.
Good work, yeah. I mean, even if they fight underneath a turret, like Gravitas, they just have the opportunity to completely nuke this entire line. Like, there's no good tank right now on the side of Legacy. Everybody's squishy. That was a ricochet right there. I mean, he'd have to go for this great triple knockup. Trey's already dead, and everybody dies. Double kill coming out for Raid, and it's just cleanup duty for the rest of the team. That was hardly a team fight. Out on the flash, triple kill for Raid. And this is just going to be the game. I think the fastest game I've cast so far in the OPL. Both Nexus turrets falling. 23 minutes, and Gravitas take the game.
The party cask is what it felt like at the end there as well. They knew they had no choice. They knew they had to engage, and they found a moment where they looked to go forwards, looked to be aggressive. But at the end of the day, too far behind in gold, and it doesn't matter how many people they hit with that combo. It wasn't going to kill them, and Gravitas will just steamroll their way through the remnants of that game. Honestly, a good showing from them. Very slow and methodical in early games, something you'd expect from a jungler like Praylist. He plays towards Pabu, something I think we haven't seen in a little while as well. It makes a big difference, and unfortunately for Paprise, once again, left to suffer, wondering where his jungler has gone.
Yeah, left to suffer, but it was just the map just collapsing really across the board, you know, and Triple Inferno obviously didn't help, but again, it was another game where I feel like basically the same thing was going to happen, you know, irregardless of that, right? And it was just a solid game from Gravitas, honestly, across the board.
It was, and the thing is, like, I'm more than happy to compliment Gravitas. They have been very inconsistent, however, and this is one of their good games that you get to see from them here and there. I still think it's a moment to look at Legacy and say that, you know, mid lane needed so much help that Guts couldn't be active on the map. The most we saw was an attempt at the blue buff. Never saw him top lane. Once again, we see Paprise put completely on an island, getting ganked, not getting any priority or any pressure. And it's a rough life to be a top laner of Legacy right now, just with the lack of anything moving towards his side of the map.
I'm still waiting for a solution, really, for, you know, for Legacy, because it's just like there needs to be some type of game plan, because we're just seeing the same thing over and over and over again, and clearly it's not working. So there just needs to be something.
I mean, I mentioned it during draft. I would have liked the Gragas Yasuo. I think it has a lot more threat than the
final
Akali
pick, right?
choice. But they wanted the damage mix, I think, and they prioritized that. And ultimately, there's no combo with a Gragas and an Akali that we saw work, where I think they could just draft more aggressively for a comp.
Yeah, well, that's what we think. We're going to send it over to Couch and see what they think.
Tell you what, the arrow jersey really worked.
Yeah, straight to the victory button.
Yeah, absolutely. Wear that one more often, boys. Yeah, this was a bit of a demolishing.
Yeah, unfortunately, they can only wear it versus Legacy. They have one per team. So
Yeah.
Legacy maybe on the receiving end of that one a couple more times before we get to the end of the split.
Potentially could be the case, but this was one of those games where real confusing, like from my perspective, right? Because both of them like real fight-heavy comps. You have a 1-3-1 traditional comp, you know, with Aatrox and Akali, versus a real heavy 1-4. Camille, one of the best flanking 1-4 top laners, however, once she does get her items. And the game was just decided much more than either of these comps would have you like let on. Because both of these comps kind of wanted the game to eventuate into turret break state so they could do their natural thing. But the old Rift Herald just rears its ugly head again and kind of just puts a nail in the coffin 14 minutes into the game.
And I feel like this is like another one of those sad games for Legacy, where like the laning phase was genuinely pretty even. They were saying on the desk that like it was a pretty close game, and then it's like a Rift Herald happens and it's a 4 versus 5. Praedyth just like wasn't going to join the fight there. Siva on the hunt entirely across the map, and Hayri on the Azir was just able to stand there, deliver, just whacking people. Emperor's Divide comes through afterwards, and yeah, it was that single fight. They get the Rift Herald in the hands of Gravitas, smash it top, solo gold, turret plating, like all of that goes down in the hands of Raid. Pabu then comes bottom side, he solo kills Praedyth, and it's just like one catastrophe happens, and then the game is like, all right, go next.
Because what happens when, and like, because I kind of think there wasn't really all that much else to this game, right? But what happens in a game when one bad thing happens is players start thinking, I need to stop doing my job and I need to make the game-winning play that gets the game back to a neutral state.
Right.
Because otherwise it's not going to happen. And that's where, you know, your 80 carry overextends, gets killed by a top laner. 1-3-1 setup, you know, you should be playing around the dragon, but all of a sudden, you know, Chaz is getting caught in bottom lane, like in a 3v1 scenario, can't outplay, can't get away. Third Infernal goes over. Like, Guts tries to steal, gives more tempo, Baron's now gone. Like, it's just a snowball effect where when you start getting away from, you know, our team comp can no longer beat their team comp, we need to do something spectacular. That's when games end really, really quickly. Yeah. And unfortunately, comp-wise, when you got an Azir just able to set up with a Siva triple Infernal Drakes, unless you do something really spectacular, that game is pretty much done and dusted.
And we've had so much like good Dragon RNG or bad Dragon RNG, depending on which team you're a fan of this weekend. There's like just triple Infernals just squirting out of nowhere, and it's just a train wreck. Is
that the way that it's...
he just squirts out onto the map, and then some team picks it up, and the other team is like, oh, okay, well, that hurts.
At the end of this split, I'm going to request a montage of just like Bryce phrasing. And it's just because it's just choice a lot of the time. It's the best part of the OPL. All right. We'll be back with the second best part of the OPL right after this.
If not a fight.
Down to 3K. 4 members here from Legacy. Jumps in. There's Pabu. Pops the ultimate. Everybody trapped in the pit right now. 50 HP. First blood goes to Hayri. In comes the laser. Chaz finds another one on the backside. And Pabu low on health. But what an Emperor's Divide. Misses the flash into the queue there as well on the Aatrox. Resurrecting, but soon to go back down right here. Another kill. Everybody squishy. That was a ricochet right there. I mean, he'd have to go for this great triple knockup. Trey's already dead. And everybody dies. Double kill coming out for Rain. It's just cleanup duty for the rest of the team. That was hardly a team fight. Out on the flash, triple kill for Raid. And this is just going to be the game. I think the fastest game I've casted so far in the OPL. Both Nexus turrets falling. 23 minutes and Gravitas take the game.
The party cask.
At Macca's, our burgers are now hotter, juicier, and tastier, with onions added at the grill for more flavour, perfectly melted cheese, and softer buns. They're the best Macca's burgers ever.
Welcome back, Rusty. Welcome to the couch.
We all have different shaped heads, I think.
That's an interesting one to start.
I've speculated because every time I put this on, you have like a minute to put your headset on. Yesterday was loose, barely fit. Today it's just tugging me.
You have
He's kind of got a big head.
you have a narrow head.
Yeah.
Like not in a bad way, but like you've got a much wider head than Rusty
got a
does.
thick head.
You got a thick head.
I've also got a really flat head.
Have you ever
Yeah,
measured
head
your
is
head?
big dropper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got
Have you ever measured the circumference of your head?
no.
I am
We
1
should.
centimeter above average.
Really? What's the average?
No idea.
1 centimeter below Rusty.
Yeah, all right. That's a good way of looking at it. We'll definitely do head measuring as a segment on the
some
OPL. Don't
point.
you worry about that. But until that time, I am plump with questions. This wasn't even requested by Macca's.
This
is just
really upsets me,
actually
by the
something
way.
that happened and we forgot to order for Rusty.
I'm just sitting here delivering their food that they didn't order me, Eddie.
This
It's
is-
been
oh,
a
this
long
is
day.
heavy
We
table.
all skipped lunch is the problem. That was the issue. We were playing TFT. Welcome to the Nick Bag. This, of
bud.
course, is where we fix your life. And then sometimes
Over
you
some
ask
food.
about...
Do you want your drink?
Thank you. Sometimes you ask about League of Legends. We're going to start off, though, with the League of Legends question. The first one comes in from Expressed O, who says, if you knew nothing about League and could only choose a champion to main off their looks, who would you main and why?
I think. What was that?
I feel like this is a dangerous question, you know?
Because we're going to find out that you like have a thing for birds or something.
He is an
Yeah.
Alawi man.
Yeah.
We can just say that. But no, I reckon I would pick something. This is kind of boring, but like Ash. Any game that I play, I've played League of Legends for
Yep.
like many years, and I
Yep.
play support. But I'm like an archer. In any RPG, and whatever I pick, it's like the guy with a bow.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'd get on board
Based off
with an
her
ashtray.
looks.
I mean,
Yeah,
or is
but
it?
yeah,
I mean,
no,
looks
no,
like-
it's
I don't
not
mean
like-
like how pretty is Ash.
no,
I
it's
mean
like-
what the champion looks
Just
like.
check
it
it.
All you
does.
could
Check
see
it.
was pictures of the
Yeah,
champions.
yeah,
Then
yeah.
which one would you be drawn to
No,
playing?
just check.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Ash is a good answer. I'm
Yeah.
the same. I always play Ranger, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I would probably take like Gnar or something, or
Okay.
Teemo as well. I think because I go the smaller the character, Annie. The smaller the
Yeah.
champion, the more I assume they're completely overpowered. Because there's no way you would send a little girl holding a teddy
Veigar.
bear out to war unless she was
that a short
insane.
joke? Yeah, it's also like I feel like with Nar, you wouldn't know that Mega Nar existed.
It would be
really.
so exciting to find out.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm huge. This is not what I wanted at all. I'm
Yeah.
so weak.
It would be
I'm so useless and big. Yeah, maybe.
good.
Pantheon.
Oh, okay.
Explain.
That hunk of a man, Pantheon.
Yep.
Why wouldn't I not? I love 300, Leonidas. I read all the stuff like that as well, and he just kind of fits the aesthetic that I'm here for, regardless of his aesthetic.
And that you're trying to build yourself as well.
Yeah.
Let's be honest,
Yeah.
Rusty.
It's true.
I reckon Pantheon takes like elevator gym selfies.
And what does he taste like?
I've
That was the
never
first
met
thing
an
that came
elevator
out.
in a gym, bro.
I mean, elevator mirror selfie. Sorry, my bad.
That's exactly it. The desk. Your answers, please.
Garen. Garen, is that coming through? Is this thing on? Is Rusty's levels just really cooked?
We can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can hear.
All right, cool. I go with Garen. Because
Gentle on
I am
headset.
so much like Dos and I always fight for the most vanilla ice cream warrior / barbarian class in every game we play. Me and Swiper, we're both just big, tanky barbarian players.
That's fair. I mean, I play Alawi, and I feel like it would still be Alawi based off looks. You know, I love anime, and I feel like, you know, tentacles and anime just go hand in hand, or hand in tentacle, you know what I mean?
That's a very good answer. I mean, I feel like that is inherently what happens when you start a new game. Is you basically you either choose from class, but I would always just choose from.
What was
like,
your
oh, that
first
person looks
champion?
cool. My first one was Ash. Yeah, because I was like, yeah, this is totally
Yeah.
the kind of.
I think almost the more interesting question is who would you absolutely not pick? Like, what class do you see and you're
yeah.
just like, no. Like a normie big guy, like literally Jake's pick.
Yeah.
A normie big guy with a big sword, I'm like, that is the most boring thing of the game. Like, never touching that at all.
Just some American soldier in the
Yeah.
game all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Mine is always, and I never play them, anything made out of rock, anything like, I guess like a Malphite kind of champ, anything made out of the elements who's like big and stone, because it plays into this idea that like I need to wade in and brawl, and that's not how I like to play this game.
Demo.
You just want to run away and squeeze.
Yeah, I run off with my teddy bear. Is that in it? Yeah, okay, good twist. Next question comes in from Davo Erlo.
Oh.
The
Anthropomorphic.
Sorry, I'm just
personification.
laughing at the phrase. The anthropomorphic personification of death appears in many forms across many worlds and media. Which is your favorite?
I can only think of like the Grim Reaper.
Yep.
So like, what can we? Yeah, I don't know many of the forms.
I like Lucifer from the TV series in terms of.
Yeah, you can
He's a
answer it
personification
like
of
this.
death, right?
I don't. This isn't a test of your religious knowledge. This is like.
Yeah, I'm
But you
pretty
don't.
su-
Oh, you don't watch
That's-
movies or TV shows.
So I'm like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like the one I say is like the Grim Reaper, but he's just like the most normie, boring big guy with a sword.
Which
That's
Grim
okay.
Reaper?
Like
Which one
with
do you
like
think
a
of?
scythe.
Just a basic.
Oh, just like a basic
Like a
ass
family
like
guy?
Just a basic Grim.
like the one.
Goodness.
Okay, this is really ominous, but like the one when you're like trying to kill your Sims. You
Oh,
know what
yeah.
I mean?
Okay, yeah.
That
Okay,
walks
yeah.
in
That's
and
good.
like, you know what I mean? Then takes them. Yeah,
That's good.
That's like the Sims Grim Reaper, I guess.
That's funny as well because it's
Yeah.
like you've sent death literally just into a house
Yeah,
to kill someone.
You've
It's pretty
just stuck a
dark when you think
person
about it.
inside with just a stove and like you just boxed him in.
But isn't that The Sims
Yeah.
anyway? So Lucifer from the TV show Lucifer.
Just kind of fits. Like he's my favorite personification of, I guess, the Grim Reaper in a way, right? Simply because of the fact that he is a real human with like wit and believes that he's not evil. And I think that's a cool concept.
Oh, okay.
I feel like
cool
I
subject.
may steal Jake's. I don't know. But mine would be Death from the Terry Pratchett Discworld books.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, Death
Yeah.
of Rats or Death?
Sorry?
Because there's two, right? There's Death of Rats specifically for rats.
That's true.
And then there's Death.
It's probably Death, but Death of Rats a very close second.
Death of Rats would be mine.
Super entertaining. Like great. Like it goes across all the novels. There's great recurring character. I love it. My second would be Al Pacino in that Al Pacino Keanu Reeves movie, Devil's Advocate.
Okay.
Because it's just Al Pacino. He's probably the devil anyway. Jake.
I was going to go with In the Magician. There's like, because in Magician, which is written by Raymond E. Feist, a really old fantasy novel, like kind of an epic, they just have like the whole like weighing of the soul after you die, and then you get put back on the wheel, and like depending on whether you've been a good person, then you get reincarnated as a better thing. If you've been like an arsehole, you get reincarnated as Bryce. So like, that's kind of how, that's the image of death I like. I like the reincarnation thing.
Pulse.
Death of Rats. Yeah,
There you go.
100%. Death of Rats or the Shinigami from Death Note.
Oh, that's a good one as well. That's a good choice.
I've only seen the Netflix recreation.
Oh
of
no.
no.
This is why you need to watch like anime in general, because if you're only watching the Netflix adaptations of anime,
And I just know it's. I mean, it was awful.
Yeah.
And you say that, and I'm like, oh, I know what that is. I hate it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I watched the last Airbender movie. I'm down with anime.
You can't say their names right. I remember.
That's hilarious. Chat had a lot of opinions on this one, actually. Death from the Discworld, yes, excellent. Swin's House Source, good choice. Thank you, Sinsa. Death of Rats, The Angel of Death, Mordekaiser. There's also Hades. Kindred is Death himself, torn in two. So there you go.
Okay.
And then Magician is the Bomb, says Lock Ikatu AU.
Nice.
And-
I like the magician.
Anubis would be cool, says One Nish. Next up, Sir Salty, dear Nickbag. I've seen many videos of 3 challenger players versus 5 gold players and stuff like that on YouTube. Could we get a game of the 5 of you versus 3 pro players?
Call
I
me
think-
gold, brother.
I think we'd win that.
Do you reckon we would?
Yeah.
Convincingly.
I think there would be no chance that they would win.
What about 4?
4 pros?
Can we get in there? You could just lane and like we get a jungler.
I think
But
they could win
also-
then.
Remember, I'm playing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I think 4 might win.
yeah. A 3 sounds undoable, unwinnable. I think I'm getting like the slightest inkling of a noise, and it's Jake putting food. He immediately put his mic up. But yeah, I think in between 3 or 4, like 4 could be it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I think 3 is like there's no way they could ever beat us with 3 simply because we all work on League of Legends so much, and we're not gold players. First of all, we're all ranked above gold, generally speaking.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Including Nick. He's not ranked. Like you're not 30, so you can't be ranked yet.
So therefore, my skill floor is just, it's limitless.
exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't think that there's enough people on the field to be able to beat.
Yeah, it's
Our
just
average
like
skill.
a sheer like numbers game at that point. Yeah. So then, who would we pick?
Champion wise. Which pro players would you play against?
would you want to play against?
Was the goal to beat them?
Well, it's
the
like-
goal is to have an entertaining game.
All right.
Pabu.
Yeah. Okay. Who plays the wackest
Yeah,
stuff?
that's the question.
Pabu, Swiper, top laners.
Yeah, you reckon?
I reckon you want 20k in the game.
Yeah.
Because he's going to, if anyone, because I think the pros would want to 1v2 bottom lane, and then they would want to steal jungle. Because not running a jungler is very, very hard for both solo laners, whereas just 1v2ing is potentially doable. I'm just going to
And he's the 80 carry that
And
like,
he's
he'll-
the 80 carry
he'll-
that would rise to the occasion on
Yeah.
that. He would take that as a personal slight if he didn't win the lane.
I would like to pick the 3 players who have the most difficult time with English communication and create a Tower of Babel situation where they just can't coordinate, and then we just manage to overwhelm
Stumble.
by
We just
communicative
Stephen
force.
Bradbury our way to victory.
Exactly.
Problem there is that the only imports are Korean.
That's right. And then actually,
And
that,
then they
that would
speak
put them on a
Korean.
massive advantage.
And then I mean I don't know how true this is, but I've been told that the language is literally more efficient, like less words.
Yeah,
You know what
right.
I mean? So it's like we've just upgraded their communication.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've not thought this through at all. All right, I'll think through more when we get to our next game. It is not that one. It's not Legacy.
scrolled
versus
too
Gravitas.
far.
No, I hadn't scrolled enough. It's Order versus Chiefs.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It is.